Hey, Thor, 3. Let's get into murder. Welcome back to 8-Bit Entertainment. I am Captain Paul. That is Fajardo, and down below is Goon the Beard. How is it going, boys?
Hey. Good. How's it going?
We're doing something a little different. We're doing a great speech, and this was recommended by our resident bearded individual here, who does not shave. He does not subscribe to Manscaped, so
Damn.
so Manscaped, you could come to me or Fajardo, but him not so much. Coon, what do you got to say about this speech before we get into it?
This is the greatest speech ever. Period. Period. It was in the movie The Great Dictator, which came out in 1940. This speech has transcended time, in my opinion, and you'll soon figure that out. But it's just the most fantastic piece of writing I've ever heard.
Alrighty, well let's get right into it. Charlie Chaplin, The Great Dictator speech. Let's go.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost.
I'm just pausing it because it seems like there's a ton of correlations of what he's saying right there in today's society. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, essentially, we're extremely greedy. I mean, machines are kind of making us detached in a way. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts?
I agree with everything you said so far. Honestly, like, it definitely translates even to this day, obviously. We all want to help people, right? But in trying to help, I think we don't have enough feeling to really help people as much as we say we do. But deep down, we have it. We just don't act on it.
I mean, Yep, go ahead.
This is one of the most pure, just heartfelt speeches I've ever heard in my life, and for it to transcend 60 years worth of time is absolutely it's fucking amazing. It's just outright amazing.
I'd have to agree. Let's keep listening.
The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, Only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
So, obviously that was a lot to unpack. I didn't pause it because it was just, just not much to say for me. But like, what are you thinking here, guys?
It's just so intense. I've probably heard this 100 fucking times, and it's probably never been a time I haven't, choked up, teared up. It's just, there's just so much power in that fucking speech, and within, the disparity of the speech, there's a lot of hope, sprinkled in there also. So we have to be, just as citizens of this earth, we have to be mindful of that.
What do you think of Vagina?
It's funny because a lot of the things that he said in this speech, right? I've never heard this speech. But a lot of things in the speech I've actually said in regular conversations to a lot of people, that our greed is what keeps our borders. Our greed is what keeps us separated. If we were to do away with that and just make progress as humanity, as humans, right, we'd be so much further. We wouldn't only be exploring things on this planet, we'd be exploring the stars at this point. But our greed is what keeps us in check, keeps us in place, and it's one of those things that the speech transcends time, but is it because we continuously put ourselves on the side of greed?
I mean,
really making the same mistakes. Yeah.
I think it's a great speech, and it's very heartfelt, but it's saddening in a way because I don't think human beings are capable to ever be completely at peace. I think there's always going to be a certain select group of people that will have greed, right, or want power, that will want to use that power to reign over other people, that we will never be able to have complete, free borders or complete, freedom of interaction.
To your point, we see it in the most purest of things. Like, religion was supposed to be so pure, and how many wars have been waged over it, and throughout the course of history, and etc.
I mean, human beings just kill each other for minor differences, right? And it's like, we'll kill each other over materials, we'll kill each other over land, and it's just, if you really take a step back out of it, step back on things and really think about it, it's really foolish, right? I mean, it's really foolish in a lot of ways. Or if we sourced ourselves together, treated each other kindly, treated each other like human beings, we would prosper far better. But unfortunately, we just live in a world that human beings have that innate greed within themselves, right? Like, it's something you have to battle.
We separate one another at every which way possible. We separate each other by country, by nationality, by religion, by the color of our skin. It's just like, I don't know.
Do you think it kind of... You think it kind of comes down to just our innate nature, how we're a very tribal type people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we are very us versus them in a lot of ways, right? It takes kind of
you're not
a
wrong.
it takes
Even with
kind of
sports, you see people killing people over
I know.
soccer games and football games. Like, Jesus Christ! Like,
I just think
crazy.
it gets kind of like people get so lost in that tribal thing. I think it takes a certain type of thinker and a certain amount of maturity, right, to kind of take a step back and realize, like, in the greater picture, all of that is foolishness. We should all just treat each other kindly. I mean, look who fights our
should be on the
wars.
same team.
I mean, like, look who fights our wars, though. Is it older, mature, wise men? No, you're sending young men, 18 to 24, right? Very
They have
impressionable
nothing
out
to
there,
do with your wars.
impressionable to out there to die. I mean, not to sound hippie, but the reason why we wage these wars is because they put the most impressionable or sometimes the most desperate that need to be in that position. It's saddening in a way.
Yeah, one of the things I liked about the speech was when he mentioned the radios and technology that are meant to unite us, meant to get us together. Yet we use it for the complete opposite. You know what I mean? I remember back in the day when you know, cell phones weren't a thing, where social media was not a thing. You know, and basically bullying was just, you know, someone who was in front of you just bullying you, like physically bullying you, whatever. To that extent, I think mentally back then we were stronger in that aspect that we can take that. Now with the way that everything is going and all this trying to satisfy everybody mentality, we've digressed in a way that we are more sensitive, yes, but we are more sensitive in a bad way. And that comes from all the social media. Yeah, we're doing something on YouTube, but we try to promote positivity. We try to promote, you know, like togetherness.
And I think, to your point of like the radio and the internet, human interactions in general have just changed. You know, back before we had all of our cell phones, before we had Google, before we had all that, we had handshakes, we had hugs, we had real relationships. And now it just seems so fabricated and
Detached.
detached. Yeah, exactly. It's just
Yeah, like very detached. We live in a very detached society, man. Like, it's you know, it's a lot of people are more like like on their phone, and instead of interacting with their environment around them, like looking out the window, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had a conversation with Goon here. I think maybe a year or a little bit more, where we both agreed. Right, we were sending each other messages because we were doing something together, and we said, we can't do this thing. Let's just talk. We'd spend hours on the phone talking because speaking to someone is much more important than texting someone.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Because your tone of voice, the way you feel about things, your passion, your dislikes, all that gets translated in your voice, and not on a text message. Oh, I wrote in capitals. I was mad. That doesn't. Okay. No. Wow, I write on capitals just because I want to. It doesn't translate the same. But when you hear someone say something, there's a huge difference between someone saying something and someone texting something. Because everybody can take it differently when you get a text. But when someone says something, you know how you're supposed to take it.
I mean, I think the bigger thing I learned from this speech, or the one thing I did take away, is that, I mean, we gotta just stop having fights or conflict or hating another person just because of a different, you know, skin tone, different religious belief, different region they grew up in. I mean, if you really think about that shit, it's so. It's mind blowing in a way because it's so foolish. It's such a foolish way to think about life, and I mean, it makes you think. This type of speech definitely makes you think. Any more comments, guys?
Yeah, I mean, all right. I'm gonna sound real nerdish on this, right? But this is one of the things I liked about Star Trek. If you ever watch Star Trek, they were out for humanity, and literally they try to do peace, even across the stars or whatnot. But if you look at the way that their Earth is run, it's not about, poverty, stuff like that. It was literally like, all right, everybody's together, and we're searching out in the stars just to explore, which is what we're naturally born to do. Honestly, we explore everything, right? So yeah, I'm a Trekkie. I do all this and whatever, but the message, I think that same message is kind of embedded in there if you know how to look for it.
Well, we'd be interested to know your thoughts about this speech. What was your takeaway? I mean, what was the biggest takeaway you had from this speech? I mean, it's a timeless, like Goon, like you said, man, it's timeless. Like, it's something that was made in 1940, and it's still, what is that, 80 years old at this point? And
Yeah,
it's still so prevalent to this day. So we'd be very interested to hear your thoughts down below, and also any suggestions, whether it be music or any type of medium, any type of videos. We'll be definitely interested to watch and listen to.
So I wanted to make an announcement, right? Stay tuned. We will be conducting a family movie night on our Twitch channel. We will be letting you guys know when we will start that project. And we will be adding our Twitch link on here so that people can come and, watch a movie with us and, hear our reactions after it. But, when you get a chance, come on down and watch a movie with us. And if you have any suggestions about movies you want us to watch with the family, let us know.
Absolutely. And if you haven't already, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The usual begging at the end of the video to get people to interact. So we are 8-Bit Entertainment. I'm Captain Paul. That's Fajardo. Down below is Goon the Bearded. And we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.